Welcome to the Home Services Home Show, where you learn a lot that you need to know.
And a whole lot you don't.
So it's been a little while. Not that we haven't been working. We've been really, really busy. That's probably why we haven't been on in so long.
Yeah.
I'm Andrew Larson from Larson Home Services, and normally I have Joshua Keeney from Keeney Home Services, but today he's been replaced. So I wanted to have a real expert on the show. No, I'm just kidding. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm John Schmit. I'm the sales manager here at Larson Home Services. I've been here this is my 9th season actually now, going back to 2015. So it's been a while, Andrew.
So you're saying you know some stuff?
I'd like to think I do. I think some of the people in my family would say I think I know a little bit too much.
So we normally do a little, the whole lot that you don't need to know. We normally talk a little bit about sports. Not a lot going on in Wisconsin sports right now. It's a little quiet.
Yeah, we got the NHL playoffs, though, so I'm excited.
I said Wisconsin sports.
Hey, we don't have a team.
Yeah. Hockey's still going?
Sure is.
Oh,
yeah.
News to me. Did you know hockey was still going? Yeah, me either.
Vegas and Florida. Not thinking about hockey in those places, but that's
Vegas and Florida. That is two areas where nobody ever skated on a pond. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so it should be a good finals. You got the NBA championship going too. Too bad the Bucks aren't there.
I'm actually excited for that one.
Yeah.
I mean, Denver and the Heat, like
Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah, man. I'm actually excited for that one. If it would have been LA and Boston,
yeah, same old.
Yeah, Denver though.
Yeah, never been there before.
Fun to watch, and then an 8 seed, the Heat
beat the Bucks. So yeah,
they deserved it. They played. That was exciting.
Yeah,
up 3-0.
Yeah,
up 3-1, up 3-2, 3-3, and then they win it in Boston
in Game 7. Yeah,
big. Yeah, that was cool. That was fun to watch.
Yeah,
not that I watched them all, but I watched some of them. So today we are going to play a little game of Mythbuster.
I like it.
So we had some people write in with questions, and then we just had some overall myths when it comes to roofing and ice dams. A lot of things that people think is okay or think might work. We're here to bust that. Now, we're not actually going to do any like scientific experiments, but over the last 20 years, I've been able to learn a few things.
Yeah, a lot of information in that amount of time.
Yep. There's a lot of stuff out there about energy saving shingles and or colors make a big difference when it comes to the shingle. So one of the first myths here is, or is it a myth? Dark colored shingles will result in higher energy bills. What do you think about that?
Well, if your house is properly insulated, it doesn't really matter on those shingles, does it?
It makes absolutely no difference. What we know with Dr. Energy Saver and the home performance work that we do is that your attic, it's a completely different area.
Yeah.
And if it is air sealed properly and you have that R60 thermal barrier between your home and the attic, the color of the shingle makes no difference. Any of you listening or watching been on a roof when it's 90 degrees outside?
Not very fun, is it?
I have. I can tell you this. Whether the shingles are gray or black, they're really hot.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
They're hot.
And go up to your scuttle hatch in your house. Go up, not even inside your attic. Just open that up if you got gray shingles, and tell me if it's not hot up.
90 degrees outside, it could most likely be 150 degrees in your attic.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So the shingle color doesn't make a difference. If you have a really shallow pitch roof, say we're talking 312, 412, which means the actual roof is going to be a lot closer to the ceiling in your home, and you don't have proper insulation, then it definitely could heat your house up more. Yeah. So it's kind of a myth, but kind of not, depending if your home is put together properly.
Yeah. There's some half-truths in there.
I would say there's some half-truths. If we've got a good attic space, it's insulated properly, it's air sealed properly. Ventilation, a lot of times people think that ventilation is really so that the shingles don't bake and it makes your house cooler. Not really. When it's that hot, if it's hot the attic's going to be hot whether you've got great ventilation or not because we're venting your roof with hot air, right?
Yeah. Basically an oven.
Yeah. What we know more so is that ventilation is really important for moisture.
Yes. We don't want that mold growing in the attic. We don't want to have the issue with wood rotting. There's a lot of things that can happen if it's not properly ventilated.
Especially if your home isn't air sealed properly
Mhm.
and that warm air from the home through stack effect moves up into the attic. It will condensate on your roof deck, the nails, the roof joists. And then at that point, if we don't have proper insulation, it will sit, it will turn into mold, and that's bad. So that's really what ventilation is really important for. So that one's a half truth. Shouldn't matter if your home is put together properly.
Yeah. It's more aesthetics than anything at that point. So.
Exactly. All right. Let's take another one. Is it fine to install shingles over old ones?
Is it fine? Some people would say yes. I can tell you absolutely not from enough inspections out in the field.
You know what's funny is a lot of municipalities, it's actually within the building codes that you can throw shingles over the old ones. Yeah. No problem.
Yep.
I can tell you this. If you want any warranty with your roof, it is not okay. Yeah. What's the biggest reason why we don't want to install over old shingles?
Well, we have no idea what's underneath them.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
So maybe they didn't have proper ventilation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's mold in the attic. Maybe there's rotten wood. If you don't tear down to the base, you don't know. You'll never know.
Yeah.
And now you're covering up a problem.
One of the things I always like to say to customers is it's kind of like a painter. Like if you have a blank canvas, you can do a lot more with that, can you, than having a bunch of stuff already on there. Mm-hmm. And that's the same idea with roofing. Once you have that blank canvas, it's a lot easier to see if there's any damage, if there's any problems, and what we can do to make it better.
I know that's why when either Larson Home Services or Keeney Home Services, when we do a roof, we really want to be able to look in the attic as well.
Yes.
And I remember when we first started roofing, and people were like, "Why do you need to look in my attic?"
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's half your roof.
Mm-hmm.
It's the underside, and we can see a lot. You ever peek up into an attic and you can see daylight?
Mm-hmm.
That's an issue.
Yeah.
We might want to really look at that area.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
You can see leaks that you cannot see from the outside. The other thing is the one thing that I've always preached is you can put the best shingle in the world on your home.
Yep.
But if you don't do the leak barriers, the underlayments, roof to wall flashing, step flashing, pipe flashings, if you don't do that stuff right, the roof will leak.
Yeah.
If you put old shingles over new shingles, you can't redo that stuff.
No. And you don't know what problems are already under there, so you might be putting nails through a already existing problem, and now you're making a bigger problem out of it. So
I'm going to say that one's a myth. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
Just run if somebody's telling you that they want to do that.
There are companies that still do. I mean, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
It's a lot less labor.
DIY guys.
You don't have to buy any of the ice and water. You don't have to buy, honestly, the expensive stuff.
Yeah.
You're just going over it.
Yeah.
But there's going to be no warranty on that roof.
No. And what's under your roof? Everything.
Everything.
Why would you take that chance?
Correct. That's a myth. Don't do it.
No.
Don't do it unless you really just, I don't know, don't care. Let's see.
I like the one right here. It says all roofing materials are created equal, so just buy the cheapest.
Who said that?
So,
anybody know? Shane, you know where that came from? No? All right. That's not true. That is a myth.
In any facet of our business, actually.
Oh, man. So yesterday we were talking and I said, the worst warranty to get is one that you have to use. Now, we give a 50-year non-prorated warranty on our shingles. Anything goes wrong with them, it's backed. It's not just backed by us. It's backed by GAF, the largest shingle manufacturer in the world. They replace it. Labor, material. Right?
Yep.
If we use the cheapest stuff, they won't give us that warranty because they know that it will leak.
Yeah. It will be a problem.
There is a big difference between a really high-quality synthetic underlayment and 15-pound felt paper.
I mean, it basically feels like construction paper, like when you were in kindergarten, is what the felt paper feels like. Yeah.
It rips very, very easily.
Yeah.
I've seen it many times where they're putting it on and it's tearing, so they're just stapling it back down. I mean, the point of that is if water does get underneath the shingles, you still have a whole nother layer of protection.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing that's a really big issue, I think, when you go with those cheaper materials is the fact you think, oh, I'm protected. I'm doing the right thing. They told me you just need to put this X, Y, and Z on there and I'm good. Well, not even 5 years down the road, what's going to happen? You're probably going to have a leak coming in. And what happens? You tear that off. You put another roof on there. So you're paying twice.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people have we seen do that? Or 3 times or 4 times? It happens. And we don't want that to be the case.
No.
We want them to do it once and be done with it.
No.
You get what you pay for. It really is.
I mean, I did hear a roofer say one time that we don't want to put the best roof on because we want to be able to replace it in 10 years. I mean, that's one way to think about it. Yeah. That's the exact opposite motto that we have.
Yeah.
We want to give you the best now and just be done with it.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I think the only thing that I think that could really do anything to the roofs we put on would be obviously tornadoes.
Yeah.
Acts
of God.
An act of God.
Yeah.
Hail. But now we've even got, the F wave, and we've got some Armor Shield shingles, impact.
Yeah.
Class 4 impact rated shingles that really can withstand some big hail.
Yeah. And even the HDZs, those things have that wind rating, Miami-Dade certified. So, I mean, they're meant to stand up as well as they can to like a hurricane. 130 miles per hour, yeah.
That's pretty
You
strong.
got wind that strong in Wisconsin, you're probably worried about your house blowing over.
With anything, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
So
very true.
I've seen roofing companies tear roofs off, and be careful not to tear the tar paper off and then just take it and staple it back down.
Yeah.
Defeats the entire purpose. Pointless. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
That's a myth. I wouldn't do that.
No.
You can easily repair a roof the DIY way.
Do it yourself? Go up on a roof today when it's 90 degrees outside. And
I mean, I think that depends on your level of expertise.
It does.
Shane, could you repair your own roof? Yeah. I mean, people do. And what it usually results in is like a couple tubes of blackjack.
Yeah. There's going to be problems all over.
Got a leak. Let's just, squirt some blackjack on there. Yeah. We see that all the time.
Flex Seal.
I have to use the whole can. But we typically see that like around pipe boots, pipe flashings, chimneys. That's a big one.
Yep.
If a chimney's not flashed properly, we'll get up there and see just gobs of black caulking around there. Yeah. Now, if we come out to a house, because we do a lot of roof restoration, we call it roof restoration because we are restoring your roof. We run into a lot of roofs that aren't that old.
Yeah.
And so the shingles themselves, again, this kind of backs up the importance of everything else besides the shingle.
Yeah.
The shingles themselves are good, 5, 6, 7 years old, but it's leaking because other things weren't done right.
Yeah. Yeah. And they weren't done right because, well, there's many variables that can go into that. But like you said before, they don't have the expertise. They don't have the knowledge. I know I helped my dad one time fix part of the roof. This is when I was younger. And I'm like, I never want to do that again. Mm-hmm. Like and it was a mostly flat section of the roof. Now imagine you're up on a 10-12 or a 12-12 pitch, and that's a whole nother ball game then.
Right. So typically most homeowners aren't going to know how to repair or restore a roof properly. Mm-hmm. I love it when we can go to a house and we do an inspection and they're like, we've got a leak here and we've got a leak here.
Yeah.
Get up there, take a look at the shingles, and the shingles are golden.
Yeah.
Like they're good. How old is this roof? And they're like, 7 years. So it's not the shingles. It's the way the shingles were installed, or it's a way because other things weren't done properly. Yeah. Well, we can fix that. Now, fixing a chimney that's leaking, that does not involve any blackjack or any sort of caulking at all. Mm-hmm. That involves tearing the shingles off around the chimney, repairing the base around the chimney, and then flashing it properly, actually cutting into the chimney, and then putting shingles back on.
Yeah. That takes a lot of time, doesn't it?
Takes a lot of time. Once a pipe boot is flashing, that does not involve blackjack or caulk. Mm-hmm. That involves taking shingles off, replacing underlayment, and replacing that pipe boot.
Yeah.
So if you know how to do that, then awesome. You can do it yourself.
And if I can piggyback on what you were saying about the restore and how we do things, that's the great thing about what we do here too, is that everything is part of your house and everything from the attic up is a system. So we go to restorers all the time, right? There's gutters, there's insulation that might need to be done. That's the reason that they have this problem. So that's what helps us, knowing that we're experts from the attic up. We can focus on that.
How many times have we went to a house where they thought they had a leak, but they didn't actually have a leak? They had a condensation problem in their attic
Yeah.
because they had no air sealing and their ventilation was terrible.
Yeah, all the time. We see it in a lot of these houses in the same neighborhood. They were all built around the same time. Same builders probably done the exact same way, so it's no surprise
Mhm.
they have those issues.
Yep.
Yeah.
So DIY roof repair, sure. If you've done it before, if you know how to put a roof on, go for it. If you haven't, and you're trying to repair your roof with $20 worth of blackjack or caulk, you are not doing it right, and it will leak again.
And for goodness sakes, be careful if you're doing that too. It's dangerous.
We're not even getting into that.
Yeah.
So, what's another one? We got some ice dam stuff. Metal roofs stop ice dam formation and dams. Unfortunately, metal roof is not any better at preventing an ice dam than asphalt.
Oh, we've been talking about that recently a little bit, haven't we?
We have. So, the reason an ice dam starts is snow built up on the roof, heat loss from the house, melts it on the roof, gets to the overhang, which is outside a warm wall, so it's cold, hits that cold, freezes. And then that cycle happens and happens and happens, and then eventually you have an ice dam, and now the snow that's melting behind it hits the ice dam, and it sits there and works its way in, and that's when you look up and you start seeing, what's that spot on the ceiling? Unfortunately, once you see the spot, what does that mean?
It's too late.
Now it's gotten under the shingles, it's gotten through your OSB, it's soaked through your insulation. Now there's more damage.
Yeah.
The way an ice dam starts, a steel roof isn't going to do anything from preventing that thaw, but as I've learned, it really allows it to slide off a lot better.
Almost like our gutters.
Correct.
Very similar.
Correct. So I have some steel on my house. New house, part of a steel roof. And I swear to you, we were sitting in the living room and I thought my whole house was caving in. Must have had a foot of snow up there or more, and it let loose, and it sounded like an avalanche coming off the house. So it definitely allows more ice and snow to slip off.
And there's a reason a lot of people with those metal roofs have those ice breakers up on their roof too.
They put ice breaks up there to try to stop that from happening.
Exactly.
Where mine goes, it's fine. It can slide off.
Yeah.
So it might not be a myth.
No, I would.
Plus, we look up in northern Wisconsin. I just brought that up,
Yeah.
where they get Lake Superior lake effect, tons and tons of snow.
Yeah.
They'll have most of their roof will be asphalt, and then the very end over the cold part, it's metal because it's allowing that snow to not sit there. It allows it to slide off.
So are most of them up there just based on the soffit overhang then? So if they got an 8-foot soffit overhang?
No, I wasn't paying that close of attention. I would just notice that they've got that metal, and it has to be for snow.
It's going to be something I'm going to pay attention if I'm up there skiing this winter now, I bet you.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
So I would, it doesn't, it doesn't, I guess, yes, I guess it does.
Yeah.
It just doesn't allow it to sit and form.
Yeah.
Because it's not those shingle granules to grab onto.
Yeah.
So I would say, yes, it probably is.
It's helpful, yeah. And
So,
very similar. Any metal product, whether, like I said, our gutters or anything like that, it's going to have a natural ability to slide off.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
All right.
All right. What's the next one?
Oh, what do we got?
Inside proper attic ventilation. Roof myth number 4. A metal roof means your home will be warmer when the home is insulated professionally. Will be warmer? And hot air is blocked, intending your home. Don't be fooled by this myth. I think that one kind of goes straight back to the color of the shingle.
Yep.
Makes no difference.
It's all about the ventilation and the proper air sealing and everything.
Really, that one's all about the insulation. So
in the summertime, yes.
Here's something. This is almost kind of a myth because we do a lot of insulation work and we just get busier in the winter.
Yep.
You just associate insulation with being warmer and you need more insulation. And what we know now is actually attic insulation might actually be more important, like days today. What is it going to be 90 degrees out?
Yeah.
because it turns your attic at 90 gets to be 140, 150 degrees. It literally turns your ceiling into a radiant heater.
Yep.
So you're trying to cool your home and your ceiling is hot.
Yep.
If you don't have proper insulation.
Yeah.
So same with the roof. You got a black steel roof on it, that is going to get real hot.
Yep.
But that's only bringing heat into the attic. If the attic is separated properly, should make no difference.
So my wife Natalie works at Wolf Appliances, and I know she used to do work with that insulation there. So yeah, just think of it like your oven. If you didn't have proper insulation, you got that thing set to broil, you're going to be burning yourself on the other side of the oven. Right. Same idea with this insulation, and it's the exact same principle. It's very cool. A lot of the stuff we do correlates to other parts of life, whether it be kitchen appliances or what have you, like that too.
So is it a myth? Now, if you have a shallow pitch roof, not proper insulation, it could.
Cathedral ceilings, yeah,
it could.
Yeah,
all comes down to the insulation.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's read another one. Well, myth 5: ventilation is not important. Ooh. So,
that's a myth.
Honestly, the myth that I learned when I first got into this industry was you have to have ventilation, otherwise your shingles will bake from the inside out. That's not true.
No.
If it's hot out and you've got good ventilation, it's hot inside too.
Mm-hmm.
It makes absolutely no difference.
Yeah.
It is for moisture.
Yes.
And even with proper ventilation, we want to cut down on the moisture getting into the attic through proper air sealing.
Yes.
So once we stop the moisture and the warm air from getting in there, and then we top that off with good ventilation, now we have a properly working home.
It's the right combination to make your house healthy and a lot more comfortable, as we've seen since we've been doing Dr. Energy Saver work too. So
a lot. I don't know. I think on this show we learned probably a lot more that you need to know than don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so, because this is the kind of stuff that, even us as the professionals, sometimes it takes several houses, several jobs, and you see, okay, this was the right, when you start new, we started, what was it, 2017 we started Dr. Energy Saver?
Yep.
And we've come a long way since then, because you learn not every house is the same. You're going to find new things in every house you go to. So I think it's a really challenging but rewarding thing to be out there doing this kind of work.
Yeah, we learn different stuff every day. I think back to one that we did this winter, and it was a really small house, like 800 square feet. We got up and we air sealed everything up real good. We re-insulated, and they had some really cold days, and they actually had water dripping from their ceiling. They thought they had a roof leak.
Mm-hmm.
I knew they didn't have a roof leak. We had done the roof too, and it was super easy A-frame. Like, it's not possible. Yeah. Well, upon further investing, like we made it so tight, and they were plant lovers, and they had dozens of plants, and they had the moisture, or the humidity.
Yeah, the relative humidity.
Relative humidity in the house was pushing 90%.
Yeah.
With all the plants and the watering, and now we seal it up. So now all that hot air and moisture isn't escaping through all the holes.
Yep.
Now what's happening? It's condensing, and it was at the corner.
Yep.
Which is where the spot where it's closest to the outside.
Yes.
So it was colder there.
Yep.
And it was condensing and dripping.
It was hitting that dew point temperature a lot quicker over there.
So they were dripping, and really we actually had to go back and put in a basically a bath fan in a hallway to regulate that humidity a little bit.
Yeah. Because definitely your lifestyle dictates how your house is going to perform, for sure. So if you have all those plants, you need to have the right exhaust to get to make sure you're not sitting at 90%.
I mean, that's kind of one of the, and that's on our questionnaire when we come over, right? How many people live here? How often do you bathe? Makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge difference. If you've got mom and dad and 6 kids, and everybody takes 1 or 2 baths or showers a day, and you're constantly cooking, that's a lot more moisture added to the air.
Yep.
So, and then we can take a look at it and go, okay, well, do you have proper fans?
Yeah.
I know that at our house, when we take a shower, we've got fans on timers, and I've constantly have to remind my wife, you need to let that thing run
Yes.
for like 60 minutes.
That timer is the key. Yes.
Let it run.
Yes.
Why? Well, because that moisture has nowhere to go, and it's going to end up condensing on the ceiling,
Yep.
and that's where you can start seeing mold.
Yeah.
You want to get that out.
And how many people do see that exact issue in their
All the
bathrooms?
time.
Yeah, 'cause
Bathrooms will have mold on the ceiling.
they'll close the
all
door of the
time.
bathroom too when they're done, even if there's nobody
Come
in
out and
there.
it's like they were just in a sauna, and
Yep.
it just
Yeah.
that needs to go away. So, that's all the myths.
Yeah.
We've
busted some. We've half true some.
some were kind of myths, depending on other circumstances, which is that's
our
the
industry.
way a home works.
Yeah.
We do gutter shutter gutters. Biggest, strongest maintenance-free gutter there is out there. You can go online and you can look. We've got videos of me hanging from them doing pull-ups. I'm not a small person. We had Shane and a couple installers hanging from it. What was it? How many pounds? 610 pounds. So great gutter system. That one's a little easier. I mean, it's gutters, right? We put them up. We put downspouts or exits in the proper places. We get the water away from the home, the foundation, and it doesn't clog.
Yeah.
Not a lot of science that goes into that. But when it comes to roofing, and especially Dr. Energy Saver and home performance, it's all about science.
It's the physics, the thermal movement, thermodynamics. There's a lot of fun conversations you can have with people that are science and engineering lovers when it comes to that.
We just interviewed a new guy that's going to come and be a rep, a sales rep, and he's been in the teaching profession for 20 years, and he is a physics and engineering high school teacher. And we started talking a little Dr. Energy with him, and he immediately started throwing out thermodynamics and radiant heat transfer and convection and conduction, and we're like,
my job here is
you're
done.
like this is because it's not just selling it.
Yeah.
It's learning the science behind it, because you actually have to go in. I mean, it's insulation. Most people are calling us for insulation.
Yeah.
But we know that it's so much more than that.
It is.
We're never just going to get up and blow insulation in your attic, because it's not going to do anything.
Yeah. We want to do things the right way and the safe way, because some people that do this kind of work, if they're not doing things the right way, you actually could put somebody in jeopardy too with that kind of work. So
you can. So that was a neat conversation.
It was.
He was all excited about it. It was like he knows the science.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to understand that to fix a home properly. So yeah, I think that about does it.
It's been great being on here today. Been too long since you guys started this. I've wanted to get on here and have a chance to talk with you too. So
you're gonna be famous. So that's it for the show today. I just did want to throw this out there. If you're in our area, if you're in Wisconsin, honestly, from pretty much anywhere in Wisconsin, we cover it. And you've got questions about gutters not working properly, clogged up, don't want to deal with them anymore, dangerous, dirty chore. If you've got questions about your roof, I mean, maybe you have a roof issue and you don't know if you need a new roof or if it's something we can just restore. Talk to us. That's what we do. There's not a lot of contractors out there that will come and actually fix a roof. They just want to replace it. But sometimes we can fix it and really extend the life of that roof. Because if you've got a roof that's under 10 years old and it's leaking, typically your shingles are going to be just fine.
Yeah.
And it's something that we can fix up for you. So you can look us up at larsonhomeservices.com or keeneyhomeservices.com. You can check out our Facebook and Instagram pages. There's a lot of great information and videos on there. So until next time, thanks for watching.
See you, everybody.